Welcome back. Well, this was called a generational budget, and it sure is, at least when it comes to the debt being logged for future generations to pay. Paul Kershaw is founder of Generation Squeeze. Paul, thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you.
And I noted that, that as you were quick to point out, this really is burdening future generations with new debt. And there is something that you have pointed out before that could help pay for this, and it has to do with how much money we currently send to seniors. What's the math on how seniors are actually taking a bigger share of the pie than they might?
Well, if we look at the spending growth projected into the 2025 budget, between now and 2029, we're going to see old age security get an extra $28 billion of annual spending. And people need to recognize that that's a massive amount because by comparison, housing, which is such a dominant domestic economic issue, is going to receive an extra $1.6 billion. That's like so much smaller than OAS. Childcare is going to get less than $3 billion, post-secondary a couple billion. So the affordability issues that matter for younger people are definitely not receiving the same level of investment right now. And that might be okay if OAS was disproportionately going to eliminate seniors' poverty. But there's actually about 400,000 seniors who remain below the official poverty measure, while OAS is delivering an $18,000 subsidy to households that already have $182,000 of income. And I think in this moment of elbows up, in this moment where our Prime Minister is foreshadowing it's a time of collective sacrifice for the national good, we're going to need to ask those who are financially secure in retirement to take a little less OAS so the savings can be repurposed to eliminate seniors' poverty, address affordability issues for their kids and grandchildren, and trim the deficit.
We know this is a political hot button because seniors vote. Collectively, they're a powerful group. In this particular case with a minority government, the Bloc Québécois had actually made transfers to seniors one of their demands to support the budget. The government didn't do that, and they don't need that support necessarily, but you can see that it's a hot issue. What the pitch you're making is this isn't all seniors, it's not impoverished seniors, it's wealthy seniors who even they might agree that the clawback should happen at a lower level. Why do you think it's so hard for this change to happen?
Well, I think that there is a political caution right now, in part because maybe they're not recognizing we're talking about 20% of seniors being impacted, those who have six-figure household incomes. They may not be wealthy, but they are financially secure. And what we have going for us is we know that Pierre Poilievre, when his party was last in power, talked about the very issue I'm describing. The Prime Minister, in his book Values, has anticipated the very issue that I'm describing. And so rarely do those two leaders agree, but now that we have their convergence on the diagnosis of the problem, we need them to show the courage to act on the cure. And polling shows 3/4 of Canadians support the idea of reforming OAS's clawback level. You have the Globe and Mail editorial board, the publisher of The Hub, the lead reporter for the National Observer. That's left, right, and center. You've got poverty groups that are converging with the C.D. Howe and the Fraser Institute on this issue. That is rare political convergence. We should use that opportunity to transform what is absolutely driving the deficit more than any other line in the budget.
I do want to ask you, while I've got you, Paul, affordability, especially for younger people, is top of mind. Did you see measures here that help that? Did you feel like that was addressed in this budget?
Well, I had anticipated a generational investment in housing, and I was made nervous by the fine print about the capital investments for housing, which actually show by 2029, the capital dollars for housing will be smaller than in 2024, which then raised for me the alarm bell, like, oh, that's because the National Housing Strategy is coming up for renewal around 2027, and we desperately need this federal government to renew it. And so if they renew it, I will be hopeful, but right now the fine print make me nervous on the housing piece.
Yep.
And then all of the affordability issues for young people, childcare, post-secondary, youth employment, housing, they're all so small by comparison with OAS. And until we remedy that gap, we are not going to make this budget work for young and old alike.
Paul, so good to have you for this. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Paul Kershaw is the founder of Generation Squeeze.